My name is Christy, and this is Angel Talk, where the archangels are real, relevant, and accessible to everyone. I'm so glad you're here. Let's talk. Hey guys, how's everybody doing out there? It is good to be with you guys again. We are here for the Angel Awareness for the week of July 19th through the 25th. If you are joining me for the first time, thank you for being here. My name is Christy Michelle Riggs. This is Angel Talk. I usually say that right up front. I think I forgot. And thank all of you who have been hanging out with me regularly as we do this. This has been a lot of fun, and I really, really appreciate all of you. I'm very excited that you guys are starting to interact with me. That's been a lot of fun too. That's been, what I've really hoped for. And like I said in one of the previous messages, I think that's really a big part of the point to all of this. Obviously it's, to help you receive these angel messages and be able to connect with the angels and share with you how to do that, and just share what's on my heart with you. And a big part of that comes along with that is us being able to connect with each other from all around the world. It's just been the neatest thing. It's funny. I talked to my son. He's an adult. He's in his early 20s, and I talked to him one day last week, and I was telling him about the response to the podcast, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited! People from all around the world are listening to the podcast." And he was kind of silent, and you just have to know him. He has a very unique sense of humor. It's really funny though. And he said, finally, he said, "Mom, I just kind of wonder what people like in England or someplace think about your accent." And I just started dying laughing. I thought it was the funniest thing of him, of all the things that he could have said. I thought that was the funniest thing. But and then that got me to thinking, I bet it does sound pretty bizarre. But I'm really, really grateful for the response and to be able to connect with all of you guys. Couple of things I want to let you know before I forget. You can visit the website at www.christymichelleriggs.com. You can find me on social media, on Facebook, Christy Michelle Riggs, and on Instagram at Christy Michelle Riggs. So I kept it very simple, very easy to find. And I'm only on Facebook and Instagram. I've tried some of the other, social media platforms, and these are the two that I found that are easy for me to use, and that just seem intuitively where I'm supposed to be. I don't want to spread myself too thin, and then also, like I've shared with y'all many, many times, technology's not my thing, and I was kind of late to the party on those kind of things, and so learning to use a bunch of different platforms and kind of learning the ins and outs causes me more stress than it is enjoyment. And so Facebook and Instagram, I can use those, navigate those very easily, and it's very enjoyable for me, which then makes the connection better and the content better, because then I'm not spending a lot of energy and a lot of time and a lot of focus being stressed out over trying to figure it out. So you can also visit my other website at angel-b, it's angel, ANGEL -BEE, like a bumblebee.com. And you can find me on social media for Angel B at AngelB1111 on Facebook, is a Facebook page, and Christy.AngelB, CHRISTY.AngelB, all one word, on Instagram. So lots of different places to find me and connect with me. And thank you guys for starting to do that. really, really encouraging, and I appreciate it. I had somebody, I was asked why, or not, excuse me, not why, I was asked if the thumbnails on YouTube, if I could, why they all look the same, if I could use pictures to kind of indicate what the video or what the message was going to be about. And that's a very fair question, because when I got to thinking about it, because when, I go to look for videos or something to listen to at night or things like that, a lot of times I will, I have certain channels, a handful of certain channels that I subscribe to that I know I can count on, that the messages are aligned and that they're good and that they resonate with me. And that's someplace that I can go to for consistent content, that I'm always going to be able to get something that is very beneficial to me in some way that I'm going to enjoy very much. It's going to be helpful to me. I have a handful of channels that I know for certain that I'm going to be able to do that. And then sometimes, I'll just look for Spirit to lead me to something new, and something new to be brought across my path. And a lot of times that is done through the picture on the thumbnail. So the reason that I was doing it the other way, to where it was always the Angel Talk logo and then just the title of the message, is so that you guys would be able to find me more easily, that you would recognize it, know that you were in the right place, know that it was me, and that it would, to try to make it easier for you all. So what I have done, the reason it looks different this week, is what I have done is done kind of a blend of the two. So you'll still know you're in the right place. You still be able to find me. You still be able to see it and easily say, "Oh, okay, well, that's her. That's the angels. I know I know I got the right thing." And then I've added a little picture to it so that you have some kind of indication, or maybe the angels and God will speak to you some way through that picture. And you could also just subscribe, and that way you'll always know that you have found the right thing, and you'll be updated as well. So the other thing is, like I told you all last time that we talked, or last week's Angel Awareness, I have a book. It's actually going to be a 3-piece set. You'll be able to buy the book separately, or you can buy it in a 3-piece set. And it's called Radical Love, 44 Angel Messages and Affirmations to Inspire a Radical Transformation of Self-Worth. And that is going to be coming out on August the 10th, which is my birthday. I'm very excited about that. Us Leos, we get very excited about our birthday. It's I would like to tell you that I have started to grow out of that, and it has changed for me in a lot of ways. I have grown and expanded, and I still love the month of August, though. I have to tell you, I still get real excited when my birthday starts to roll around. So I thought that this was a great way to celebrate my birthday with all of you, is to offer you these messages and offer you, share with you stories of my journey and how these messages affected me and how they allowed me to build self-worth for the very first time. And these messages were very, very powerful for me, and I hope that they are for you as well. And then that'll be the book, and then the other two parts that go with it. One piece of that is a journal. You'll have guided prompts, and it'll go right along with the book. So for each of the 44 messages, you get a message, the story of, what that meant to me in my life and how that came about and how I responded to it. And then you get an affirmation to help you with that, to help you integrate that message. And then with the journal, you'll get just a little guided prompt that'll kind of guide you to, things to think about, things to jot down, or just things to trigger your own thought process, and where the angels and God are speaking to you. And journaling, like I shared with you before, is I don't know what I would do without it, really. It's how I make sense of my thoughts, and how I'm able to take all of this that goes on, up here in my crown chakra, and it really helps me to ground it and make more logical 3D sense of it, and to also be able to remember it. A lot of times there's so much that comes through that it's hard to remember all of it if I don't jot it down and write it down. And then the other part that'll go with it is an oracle card deck that will have a little message and a picture on it that will correspond to each chapter. And that was so much fun. It didn't take me hardly any time at all to create that. I have wanted to create my own deck for quite some time now, and I kind of didn't know really how to go about doing that, or what messages to put on there if I did create a deck, and just I was kind of at a loss. And then it just came to me and made perfect sense to do a deck that would go right along with this book, and then it would help people to understand oracle cards a little better too, that there's no magic in the cards. The magic is within you, and it just helps you to, kind of like the fine tuner on your radio dial in the car, or on your stereo, it helps you to tune in to a clearer message, helps you to, just get very clear, concise guidance. And there's nothing, magical or particularly special about the cards. They're helping you to access what's magical and special within you. And so the cards will have a little 2-3 words on them that'll correspond to each of the messages of the book. And so what that will do is, as you draw your cards, like say if you're doing a weekly reading for yourself and you're using these cards, and you draw 2 or 3 cards, however many that the angels are guiding you to pull, and then you can think back or go back to those chapters in the book of what that was talking about and what those messages were, and then you can make that correlation that those are things that the angels are wanting to draw your attention to, or give you that same encouragement, or show you where you can navigate something a little better. And it doesn't at all have to be exactly how I share with you that I navigated it. It just may draw your attention to that one particular topic or that one particular theme, and then you tune in to where the angels are calling you to grow in that area, or what kind of encouragement or guidance that they're offering you. Because that's the cool thing about working with the angels, is that it is a custom fit, very, very personalized experience that the angels will give you. And so that leads right into what we're going to be talking about this week for our angel awareness. And we are working with the Archangel Metatron Self-Mastery Oracle. We're going to, unless I'm guided differently, we're going to continue working with that through the rest of the month, since he gave us the message for the entire month. Unless I'm, like I said, unless I'm guided differently, we're going to keep working with him. That seems to be really what I'm being asked to share with you guys, that Metatron is really, coming in, wanting to make himself more known, more available. Normally, I don't want to say that, I'm trying to think how I want to say this. Metatron is the angel that works with us on, expanding our consciousness. He's very unique. His energy is very unique to work with. And you really have to be ready. And what I mean by that is you have to just be open and willing and have a deep desire that no matter what, you want the truth, you want healing, you want, to be open to this place. Alan Watts says it best. He's a philosopher that I listen to quite often on YouTube. I would encourage you to look that up and listen to him as well. I think he says it best when he says, the idea of faith is to let go and be open to truth, whatever that might turn out to be. And that sums up what it's like to work with Metatron. When you are in a energy and you are in a place in your growth and on your path where you're ready, to put your big girl and your big guy pants on and really dig into it. That's when Metatron typically will show up. Interestingly enough, Metatron has been with me since as far back as I can remember. Now, for many years, I didn't know that that's who I was dealing with. For many years, and I don't know if I've shared that with you all before, that I did not know that they were angels for quite a number of years. And I'll tell you the whole story about that another time. But and I know that a lot of you are probably sitting there going, how could you not know that they were angels? Like, isn't that something that would come up? You would think, but no, it didn't. It didn't come up until it was exactly the right time for it to come up for me. And I know now that if I had known that they were angels, anytime before I did, it would have been too much for me. I had a lot of struggles with unworthiness and low self-esteem, and I would not have been in a place where I would have thought that I in any way deserved that, and it probably would have been something that would have been very detrimental to me, instead of this ultimate freeing experience for me, as it was when I did find out. Because I think I would have felt like I had to hide from them, or tried to hide. I mean, you can't hide from God. You can't hide from what you are. You can't hide from, but we sometimes, in moments of shame or unworthiness, or, what we feel like are mistakes, or lower moments of our life and of our experience, sometimes we feel like we have to hide ourselves from that which we see as better than us, or more holy than us, or more divine than us. We get in a place of shame, and that's definitely where I feel like that I would have been, and may not ever have come back out of it to have the relationship that I have with them now, and definitely not to be able to share them with you. So there's a point to everything. There is a divine plan and a point to all of it. And I tell you all that to share with you just how much that you are loved by an entire legion of angels that will custom fit, custom tailor, your experience, whatever it is that you need. I will refer to their energies as he and she, and him and her, because I'm referring to them in the way that they present themselves to me. if Metatron presents himself to you in a female energy, then please don't push it away or tell yourself that that's incorrect because I've, shared it with you as a more of a masculine energy. That's just how he presents himself to me. That's just how that energy presents itself to me. If it presents itself to you in any way, shape, or form, if Metatron presents himself I keep using that that gender specific, word. I really want to help you understand, though, that if you are presented with, out in nature or something, and a certain animal or a tree or just anything, the angels can embody anything they want to get your attention and to be meaningful to you and to be able to meet you where you are. They will meet you exactly where you are, no matter where that is. They do not care. It's that they care so much. They do not mind. It is of no consequence to them. They have no judgment about where you are on your path and where you are in your life. They don't have this idea of us being beneath them in any way. And they desperately want to interact with us, to pour love on us, and all that good stuff. So you will receive a personalized experience that is unique to you. And I think that's just a really, really cool thing. And that leads me right into the card that Metatron has given us for the week. It really just sums up pretty much everything that I brought through, or that Metatron, gave me for this week's message. And this week's card is it's the number 50 card, and it says signs, SIGNS, like signs, from Spirit with Love. And there's a picture of a little robin sitting in a tree, and there's some feathers, some little white feathers in the tree. And then in the book, there's a beautiful book that goes along with this card deck, and it's different than books that go with most card decks. Most of the time you'll get just like a little booklet that'll give you, just a couple, 2 or 3 sentences about the card. And this book is absolutely beautifully done, and it goes into a whole lot more detail. And in the book, the little message that goes along with the card says, "Look around you for the signs from above. They are everywhere if you just stop to notice and acknowledge them today." And then there's a whole lot more that's written, in the book about that. It's also a teaching book. It teaches us to work with Metatron. So what Metatron and what the whole legion of angels, all the archangels, want me to share with you, and really the point to this whole thing, is that they are with you, and you are never, ever alone. Ever. There are signs all around you, signs and synchronicities. Now, they'll never infringe on our free will choice. But if you are open, even just the smallest bit open, you have that desire to be comforted, to know more, to seek their presence, to seek their guidance, to interact with them, develop a relationship with them. Or if you're just in a moment where you're like, is anybody out there? Help. They will rush right in at just the right time, and they will try to get your attention. And it's often in a lot more subtle, or what we think of as more subtle ways, like words of a song, like number sequences, repeating number sequences, like feathers. I find feathers all the time, in the strangest places at just the right time. There are many, many ways that the angels will try to get your attention and get in touch with you to just let you know, hey, we are here. We are here. And you're not alone. A lot of people, this last week especially, has been tough. And I think that it's been that way for a great many of us. There are many people that are having a lot of relationship struggles right now. A lot of people are separated from their partners, or there's been some sort of a separation or a breakup, or some sort of difficulty or challenge there, and that has been extremely painful for a lot of people, and I'll share with you, myself included. My husband and I are separated right now. That has been one of, I would say it's been the most difficult thing, because it happened at a time, we had kind of gotten to this place in our relationship where I think that we really believed that I don't want to speak for him, but I had really believed that wouldn't really happen. And then, things just happened very, very quickly. And then, I kept thinking that it would just be for a couple of days, or it would just be for a couple of weeks. And then, here I sit almost 3 months later, and it hurts. It has really been challenging. And I share that with you because the angels have laid on my heart that I'm not alone in that there are many of you that are really, really hurting because of these relationship challenges, these being separated from the people that we love the most. And it doesn't have to be a romantic partner. There are definitely a lot of other relationships that are estranged, or there's been some sort of a break of communication. It could also be with children or parents, or something that is extremely meaningful to you and near and dear to your heart. I'm experiencing it in a lot of different ways right now, and it's been tough. I have an adult daughter, and gosh, she is so much like I was at her age, bless her heart. But she's needing some time right now in her life where she is choosing. She needs some time away from me and to not talk to me. And as a mama, that's in the 3D earth, my humanness, my heart in this human body screams, oh God, baby, please, no, please talk to me. And then when I rise up The angels help me. I rise up and I look at it, from up there, and I think, okay, this is her path is just as valid as my path, and if this is what she needs, then I've got to hold that space, and I've got to trust in our bond, and I've got to be there for her in that way, and interact with her energetically, send her love and trust in that. It said, the angels are calling me to trust in some ways that are sometimes the hardest for me to trust, because I love so big. And what that, the flip side of that is that I hurt so big. And I am being called to share that with you now, because it's my understanding. I have a feeling that a great many of you are experiencing the same things. And Metatron's bringing us this card to let us know that we're not alone. Even when we feel so lonely and so hurt and so just like, I've had days where words won't even come out, and like, have you ever cried in such a way that the cry didn't even make sense how it sounded, like a sound would almost not even come out, and your heart just feels like it is literally collapsing within your chest wall, in some ways, and then in other ways it feels like it's being ripped right out of you. And then there are some days that it's just felt, I don't want to use the word empty, because it's not empty. There's such a void. It has felt like there's such a void there. Like I've cried so much and so hard. And the ache has been so painful and so profound that then it just gets to a point where I have felt just the pain of of what feels in the 3D and in my humanness, what feels like such a loss. And I know that there, I will be the first one to tell you that I'm, very aware that there's no real loss, that energy is, that we're all connected, and that it is for a higher purpose, and that it is for a reason, and that is all very true. But there's also an authenticity to our human experience. I have shared before that having the experience of communicating with angels does not remove me from my human experience. In fact, I think it's that expanded sensitivity to those things that makes my human experience more, I call it like more thick. I feel it deeper. I feel it bigger. And to say that I don't want to feel that big, or that I wish I didn't feel that big, well, the reality of that would be, well, then I wouldn't, if I didn't, then, I wouldn't have this beautiful gift that has been so transforming and so healing and so helpful to me, that is become so much of what I understand my life purpose at this time to be. So a big part of it is acceptance and surrender. You know, I have this wonderful memory. My husband and I, a couple of years ago, we went to South Carolina, and I'm an excellent swimmer. I was on the swim team, and when I was younger, and in high school, and we had a pool in the house where I grew up, where my mother and grandmother and my aunts still live, and I swam a lot. A very good swimmer, but I do not like to swim in the ocean. I do not like to get in the ocean. It always felt, I don't like to be where I can't. It's a fear of being out of control kind of thing, and it was terrifying to me. And my husband took me out into the water, and he taught me how to dive into the waves instead of fighting against them and being afraid of them, and them just beating the hell out of me and them knocking me down. And he took me out there and was so patient and so sweet, and taught me, you know, how if I would just dive right into the center of them and go right through them willingly, you know, with purpose, that I would not get knocked down, that it would be a very smooth experience, being very enjoyable. And I never thought at that time that I would be parlaying that experience over to trying to heal in his absence. But Spirit has a funny way of, not funny, haha, but funny, synchronistic way of working in our lives. And I think that what the point is for us to take all of that love and all of that friendship and all of that feeling, you know, that relationship offers, and go inward, and you got to go deep in there, you know, to places that I thought that I had completely healed. And then turns out there's, you know, it's like that trick Christmas presents where you wrap a box within a box within a box within a box. And I thought that I had discovered most all of the boxes within boxes, and turns out I hadn't. And what that means, though, I will tell you this, and the angels have had to remind me of this, or have been kind enough to remind me of this many, many, many times, where I have, you know, just been on, literally on my knees in tears, going, I can't do this. I can't do this. And they're right there to say, yes, you can. If you couldn't do this, you wouldn't be here at this point, being asked to do this. And the more that you will willingly dive into it and let us help you, the smoother it's going to be. So that's what we're being offered this week. We have this new moon on the 20th in Cancer, and we're amping up to the Lionsgate portal. And we'll talk more about the new moon in another. I'm working on another message that'll go in depth to that, but it definitely ties in, goes right along with the themes of this. We're never alone. Even when it feels very much like that we are, we're never alone. And we're always at home with God and the angels. We're always at home within our own heart. Because that's where the God within is. I'm navigating it right there along with you guys. That's a lot of what this new moon energy is presenting us with, these themes of this deeper level, unlocking this deeper level of awakening and unlocking this deeper surrender that sometimes feels so out of control and so unsafe and so scary. But if we will dive into it and trust that we have this whole legion of angels and a God that loves us so very much, a creator that just is sometimes, we when we hurt real bad, it kind of, myself included, we kind of shake our fist at the universe and say, why are you allowing this to happen? And we get so hurt that we get mad. And this happened to me last night. I'll tell you one other just real quick experience, and then we'll be finished up. But last night, I live in the capital city of Kentucky. I live in Frankfort, and I live right downtown in what they call the historic district. And they block off one of the streets on the weekends of the warmer months, and they have like a live, sometimes they have a live band, sometimes they have just a person, with a guitar or whatever, just they have some sort of live entertainment. And I had been so sad this last week. I mean, when I say sad, I'd been sad in ways that I had not ever been sad before. And I was so tired of being sad. And I could hear the music because, it was literally just right around the corner. And I thought, maybe I should just walk down there, because they're only allowing, because of the COVID-19, they're only allowing outside seating for the restaurants that are down there and the little, places that are down there. And so I put my little mask on and I walked down there because I've been really just a hermit. I have hardly gone out of my home. I have been very reclusive these last several years. My husband and I had been kind of reclusive together. But particularly these last couple of months, I have been extremely reclusive, on purpose. On purpose, and just because I haven't had the desire. It has been a very interesting and unique experience for me. It's been different than any other heartache that I've ever had. I have not wanted to distract myself like I would have before. I haven't had that desire to go out and, it's just kind of has seemed like I need to do this work. There's been a higher calling to all of this that I have instinctively known, and that has just called me to spend time with me, which is something that I have never really done before. And So I walked, at any rate, I heard the music and I thought, I'm so tired of being sad. Maybe I just ought to walk down there. Maybe I'm going about this all wrong and I need to go down there. And I didn't know anybody that was going down there. I didn't, nothing like that. I just heard the music and I thought, well, I'll walk down there. So I put my little mask on and I walked down there. And I stayed for all of about 10 minutes. And I got down there and I tried really hard to listen to the music, and I tried to, sing along for a few. I just sat there by myself and looked all around me, and people were just having such a good time. And I finally just thought to myself, this is so dumb. And I got up, and that's literally what I thought. I got up and I grabbed my purse and I walked right back around the corner and right into my apartment, pulled my little mask off, and came in here and just cried and cried and cried and cried. And I had this awareness. I could hear like my higher self talking and saying, what you have to remember is that you knew that you were going to experience this. You agreed to experience this. And right out loud, I said, what kind of etheric acid was I on, and why didn't somebody tell me to step away from it? And like even my cat was looking at me like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with her? And but that's just, I'm sure you all can understand. We've all been there. That's just the place that I was in. And we have, this tendency to kind of shake our fist at the universe and where are you? Why aren't you doing something? And right after that, and I kind of had a moment of guilt, and I sat down on the edge of the bed and I took my shoes off, and I had big tears running down my face, and I looked up and I said, I just in the smallest little voice, I said, help, please somebody help me. I'm not asking you to do it for me, but I'm struggling here, and I'm at a loss. Even I don't know what to do about this one. I don't know how to do this. Please, I'm so tired of being sad. Please help. And I kind of had a moment there, and I grabbed my laptop. I don't usually bring my laptop into the bedroom because they tell you not to do that. And I grabbed my laptop and I got in the bed and propped myself up, and I flipped it open, and there had been this audio book that I had saved quite some time ago, and I had forgotten that I'd saved it, and I was just kind of looking through some files, and I opened it up, and I thought, oh, I remember that, and so I kind of dug into that, and it was stuff that I had never heard before, that I did not have an awareness. It was all very new to me, and it was so helpful and so healing and so just what I needed to hear at just the right time. That it didn't take my pain away, but it helped me to work with it. It helped me to dive into it a little bit more. And so the number one thing it did is that it reminded me that I am not invisible to God and the angels. They do care, and they're right there. They hear my cries. They hear my prayers. They hear your cries. They hear your prayers. And they will present themselves to you in all kinds of different ways. They will remind you that your loved ones are near in all kinds of different ways. I had been so sad about my daughter, and there was this squirrel that in the place that my husband and I lived a couple of years ago. This has been off and on. Her going without speaking to me has been off and on for the last couple of years. And I was so sad about it. I was having a really hard time with it one day. And this squirrel looked out the window, and this squirrel had come right up to the window. Our bedroom was on the second story of this old, one of the, most of the houses in downtown Frankfurt, they call it the historic district. And this is, an older home, and there was like this porch, was where the roof of the porch came up, and you could look out the bedroom window and see right onto the roof of the porch. And there it was, here this squirrel is, and it came literally right up to the window. The windows in these older homes go all the way to the floor almost, a lot of them. And here comes this squirrel, and this thing is staring at me. And I look at it, and if you know anything about squirrels, they're very skittish animals. They're which is kind of like my daughter. They spook easy. They're very careful. They're kind of twitchy. They don't just come up to windows like that. And this thing is looking through the window, and it looks like it's looking directly at me. And I look this thing in the eyes, and I'm like, Sissy? That's what we call my daughter. Her name is Kayla Ann, but we call her Sissy. And not all the time, just that's what she and her older brother are not very far apart at all. They're 21 months apart in age, and he would either call her Lala or Sissy. And so we got in the habit of calling her Sissy. And I look at this squirrel, and I'm like, looking it dead in the eyes, and I'm telling you, my daughter was in that squirrel. And so now every squirrel I see, I'm like, oh, Sissy squirrel. So that kind of became a thing. But it was comforting to me. And it reminded me that she's always with me, and I'm always with her. She's just experiencing her growth, just like we're all experiencing growth in her own way. But I'm not separate from her, and she's not separate from me. And that squirrel was a reminder to me of that. And every time I see one, I saw one out in the parking lot earlier today. And I had been thinking about her. And I hadn't seen a squirrel in quite some time, or I hadn't noticed one anyway. And there was one right in the little parking lot that's right beside of my building. And it put a big smile on my face. And so the angels will present themselves to you in a number of ways. In a little squirrel at your window, or in the parking lot, or, maybe a particular bird, or just lots and lots of different ways. Anything that catches your eye that is meaningful to you, that you notice, that you pay attention to, you can bet that is an angel or loved one that's saying, I'm right here. You're not alone. I'm right here to help you. And then the more that you tune into it, the more that you acknowledge it, the more that you accept and believe that that's what that is, the more that they will just lay it on, because they want us to know that we are loved and that we're not alone, and that there is higher purpose to all of this. So that's what was on my heart to share with you today, and that's what Metatron, the angels, have for us for this week, is to pay attention to those signs and synchronicities, and to know that we're not alone, and to dive in to these feelings and these energies, even when it's scary. Because believe me, I know it is. And even when it's hard, because believe me, I know that it is. I'm right there with you. And we're doing it together. And they really have shown up for me, and I know that they will show up for you too. So, we'll talk more about this new moon in Cancer and what that means for us in the next message that'll be coming out sometime within the next 24 hours. I'll have that up and ready for you. I love each and every one of you. I'm sorry for the hurt and for the difficult time that you're having, because I know that so many of us are. call on the angels, call on Metatron, call on Michael, call on Raphael, call on, if you can't remember their names or you don't know, or that maybe they, that's not comfortable for you, just like I did last night, just say help, and they will. I promise you that. Please check out the website and connect with me. Leave me messages, send me messages. I will get back to you. I want to connect with you in that way. I want us to be able to support and encourage and lift each other up. And if there's any question that you have, any suggestion that you have, please don't ever hesitate to get in contact with me. Find me on social media, connect with me there. And if you would like to schedule a personal private reading, then we certainly can do that too. And I offer a variety of healing services as well. I'm doing everything online right now because of the COVID-19, but it works very well that way, and we can definitely do it that way and connect in that way. There is healing available to you. There are resources available to you. If not with me, there are many other very gifted people and healers and readers that are offering those services as well. So know that there are lots of things available to you, and you don't have to go it alone. So that's what we have for this week. I'll talk to you very soon about the Cancer new moon. And other than that, I'm sending you lots of love, support, encouragement, light, healing, compassion, and the angels are certainly giving all of those same things to us as well, and then some. So I want to thank you again for being here. Thank you for your support, your encouragement, for connecting with me, and we will talk again soon.
I am not an island. I want to feel the connection.